Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to our middle school information night. My name is Ching Kai Hugh, and I am the assistant superintendent. It's been a while since being on Zoom with some of you, so we have a great night planned for you. I am really just going to hand this over to our wonderful team of principals. We have Mrs. Adler from Ralston, we have Ms. Hanson Vera from Nesbitt, and we have Mrs. Higgins from Sandpiper. They will introduce their assistant principals who are also on there with us. Is Dr. Howard in the room? Jerome, if you can just keep an eye out for Dr. Howard and promote him to panelist when you do see him, that would be wonderful. Dr. Howard is our board president who is also joining us tonight for the presentation. We really want to share with you about our wonderful programs. We have 3 unique middle schools. They have different offerings, but really they are all fantastic. And no matter which school you end up choosing for your family, it's going to be the right school. We have a lot of things across the schools that are the same and similar and some differences. And the 3 principals are going to speak to you about those tonight. So Dr. Howard, welcome. Would you like to say good evening?
Yeah, for sure. I'm so honored to be here tonight. I am very proud of the work that's being done at each of our middle school campuses. And one of the things that I'm especially proud of is the dedication to excellence at each of these sites. One of the questions I think that we all have is, how do I prepare my child to be successful at the next level and the next level after that? And in my mind, I always think that's mostly Carlmont, that's mostly college or technical school or what have you. And we're very fortunate to be in a situation where the students that go through our middle school programs, if they are successful within our middle school programs, they are successful at the next level. It doesn't matter whether that's a Sandpiper, whether that's a Ralston, whether that is a Nesbitt, they're all going to be success at those sites translates to success at the next level. What we're really talking about is different flavors of excellence. So we're picking different flavors of ice cream tonight. Some might prefer chocolate, some might prefer strawberry, some might prefer chocolate chip cookie dough. Who knows, right? But there'll be one of these programs that we have to offer, one will fit or feel like it might fit a little bit better with your child's needs. But regardless of which program that you end up with, I think you're going to be delighted with how your child translates to the next level. I know that I'm very happy with how my child, who's now at Carlmont, is doing at that as they transition. And that's a testament to the Belmont-Redwood Shores school system, and it's not specific to any one particular site. So we've got 3 excellent leaders here that are going to tell you all about their programs, and I'm excited to hear more.
Well, without further ado, the main event, and we're going to just mute ourselves and be here watching. Thanks, everyone.
Hello, my name is Ryan Hanson-Vera. I am the very proud principal of Nesbitt School, one of the choices that you'll hear about tonight. My wonderful partner, Assistant Principal Christina Spicker, is also on a webinar tonight, hosting a mystery reader event for our TK through 5th grade students. So she cannot join us tonight, but she's here in good spirit. We have an amazing team at Nesbitt that not only will support you as a parent, but all of our students. And we have an amazing full-time counselor, Mr. Paul Lucic. Our front office team is like the friends, the best friends you could have. They'll answer all your questions, be there to help support you and carry you through the middle school experience. We have an amazing parent outreach and school liaison. And then pictured there are the people that will serve your children in 6th through 8th grade. They are a team of spirited, reliable, dedicated, and intelligent teachers, and I'm very proud to work with them every day. I can't wait to share with you a bit more about Nesbitt tonight. And I also really wanted to shout out my 2 middle school partners. I think being a middle school principal can sometimes be a tough journey, and I am very thankful to have amazing connections with both Sabrina and Gloria, and we can't wait to share with you tonight. So welcome, and go Pumas.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sabrina Adler. I am the principal at Ralston. This is my second year with the district and at Ralston. I have two assistant principals. Mr. Patrick Wilson is on the call tonight, and he'll wave to you. Ms. Jorgensen is doing something else for our school as well tonight, so she is handling that. And then we have three counselors. The way it works at Ralston is we have an administrator and a counselor that loop with each class all the way through. So you can see that Miss Sam is the 8th grade counselor this year. She will be the 6th grade counselor next year. And Miss Jorgensen, who is the 8th grade admin lead, will partner with her and they will team to really get to know the kids. All of us know the kids, all the counselors and admin, but we specialize in a grade level to help it feel a little bit smaller since we are a very big school. I have three others in my office that work tirelessly to assist us. We've got Claudia, who just took over actually for Laura Gosh, who retired in December, and then Audrey Payne and Terry Delgadillo. So a big team. I do not have a picture of all of my staff, but we have a large teaching staff of almost 60 teachers. And with all of our support staff, about 80. So it is a bigger site. I will hand it off to Gloria.
Well, thank you so much, Sabrina and Ryan, and ditto. It is a pleasure to work on a team with these incredible middle school principals, school site principals. We collaborate very often, and I couldn't do it without them, so I'm pleased to have them as part of our team, along with all of our staff at the district office level. I also have with me on the call tonight, Ms. Stephanie Scala. Stephanie, do you want to say hi for a second there?
Hello.
Thank you for being here. Stephanie's an amazing assistant principal. We have a full-time counselor here at Sandpiper, Miss Romani, who has done a great job with all of our students, kindergarten through 8th grade. And our front office staff is Carmen Rogers, our administrative assistant, at Leslie McGuire, who can support you with all of the administrative functions of registering for school, getting schedules, getting vaccination cards and all that kind of information all set. And you can see there our incredibly innovative middle school team. Not pictured is our PE coach, Coach A.A. Ron Van Laar, very popular with the students, but you will definitely get a chance to meet him when we have our individual sessions later on. I'm going to roll right over into curriculum and instruction, and you see some pictures throughout the presentation. We hope you get a flavor for what it's like at all of our school sites. And here you can see the different adopted curriculum that our school board and our community has adopted for use with our students and instruction. One thing to highlight here is that Algebra 1 is an option at all of our middle schools. We do advance students through Algebra 1 in 8th grade. And we want to make sure that you understand and you feel comfortable knowing that your students can take that advanced pathway if they would like to.
So we're going to share a bit with you about how physical education looks at all three sites. I'll start with Nesbit. So at Nesbit, PE takes place 7th period, 4 days a week. Classes are led by PE coaches, and we like to mix our classes of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders to really get their collaboration skills working. And we also make sure that those PE groups are really changing and fluid every 5 to 6 weeks. And our teachers are really dedicated to making sure that groupings are equitable and balanced and that kids are getting the best experience in PE, learning about their bodies and making sure that they're staying physically healthy, but also mentally and socially. And so they also spend time talking about like health and wellness, and that's definitely part of our curriculum. Sabrina.
Actually, I was going to take this one for Ralston, but Ralston PE is pretty straightforward. It's a regular class period for students 4 days per week for 54 minutes. Students do dress out in PE uniforms. And I know that's an adjustment for our 6th graders, but they get used to it. And they thank us later when they don't stink up their regular clothes. We do have 5 credentialed PE teachers on staff. The units rotate between either a new sport or skills that they're practicing in different ways. Right now they're doing the dance unit, which is really fun. I'm seeing students do like the Charleston out there. They really like to mix it up and have fun.
And at Sandpiper, we do also have a credentialed PE coach who supports our middle school students. They do have PE twice weekly for 110 minutes each. Our groupings change every trimester. Those kind of are opposite our elective classes. So as students change their elective, their PE also changes. And Coach Van Laar focuses on fitness, nutrition, sport, and he has a particular passion for supporting students with goal setting and monitoring their progress.
Homeroom is something that is consistent across all three school choices. At Nesbitt, we like to start our entire day as a whole entire school community participating in a morning gathering. So our students TK all the way through 8th grade gather on our blacktop for a message from their administrators and teachers, and we celebrate together as a community. We also implement restorative practices school-wide. So community circle is a big part of that, making sure that we are identifying and acknowledging one another and really setting our intention for the day with the community circle. Part of homeroom in middle school is also 30 minutes of SEL or some PBIS work on Wednesdays. And that's dedicated time to make sure we're focusing on those soft skills. So we focus on academics, but we also make sure we're good human beings along the way. So we dedicate time for that through homeroom. It's also a time for student announcements and really getting our middle schoolers involved in identifying activities and spirit days that they want to bring to the whole entire school, and then also reserve some things that are just special for grades 6 through 8. This is a great push-in and check-in time for our school counselor, who having a full-time counselor is such a wonderful resource. And with him being full-time, Mr. Lucic is able to push into classrooms and check in on each homeroom. During homeroom, we also do spend time talking about progress monitoring and reviewing our grades and making sure that students know how to check in and have that agency to ask their teachers how things are going in classes and to make sure they're asking for help. And particularly in 8th grade, we focus on that high school preparation and transition. We start that conversation really early, and our 8th grade team is very engaged in making sure that our students feel confident in what they need to accomplish in middle school so that they are successful in high school. And that's a bit about Nesbitt's homeroom.
Homeroom at Ralston is the first 8 minutes of the day, also dedicated to SEL. We include aspects of what we call PBIS, or positive behavior interventions and supports. We do drawings, our golden ticket drawings in the morning, and let students know in homeroom who won, and that's really a way to recognize positive behaviors throughout the school. Students recently also learned, we did disability awareness. It's just a great time to include things that aren't normally included throughout the rest of the day, and definitely deserve the time for that. We also have our announcements, and this year we've shifted it to now our student government leaders do our school announcements, and it's fun for them to get that opportunity. The students' homerooms also do competitions like door decorating, spirit days. We do lunchtime competitions where students within their homerooms together compete for various prizes. And then finally, community circles are something that our teachers practice during this time as well. And that's homeroom at Ralston.
At Sandpiper, homeroom is the first 15 minutes of every day, and that does, it's a time that we focus on connecting with our homeroom teacher and our classmates. We use morning meeting, some SEL content or social emotional learning content is delivered there. We have additional SEL content during elective periods. Of course, we're serving breakfast for students during that homeroom period now. And we also have a weekly assembly, which includes our PBIS recognitions for students. In our middle school, we have a student of the week that is recognized at our assembly, and student announcements are delivered during that time.
Before I jump into bell schedule, I also want to mention that during homeroom, this is the time where middle school students are served their breakfast if they choose to order. And that's an adventure, and they love it. And don't deny your middle schooler from ordering that breakfast. They're very hungry throughout the day. The Nesbitt bell schedule. So each of us will get a chance to talk to you about the differences of our bell schedule. We each have some unique components at each of the 3 middle school choices. And just as a caveat to that, things are always changing and moving around. So I'm going to share with you Nesbitt's current bell schedule, but there could be some movement to this for the 2023-24 school year. However, something that's pretty consistent is that we operate on a 7-period day. So our first period starts at that 8:25 bell. So right after gathering, students head off to their first period class. There is a break after 3 periods, and there's a lunch break, and then dismissal is at 3 o'clock. And so I want to talk a little bit about what happens those first 3 periods. So something unique about Nesbitt's schedule is that we are a teachers college reading and writing workshop school. So TK through 8th grade, we implement with Fidelity Readers and Writers Workshop. And so for our middle school teachers, that is a priority. And so we make sure that our students engage in a block of reading and writing every single day. So they are teamed with their homeroom teacher. And typically that is also their reading and writing teacher. So we're starting that relationship building really early and developing that pipeline of making sure you have an advocate who is an adult that's on your side. And we make sure that that learning happens before break. The morning time is the best time to get set. So that's how we start at Nesbitt School. And then after break, we typically then have our first rotations. So we will rotate through math and science and social studies, and our grouping switch. So students move through various different teachers on a grade level team. Teachers focus on certain areas of study. So every single middle school teacher at Nesbitt teaches a block of reading and writing. One of the partners will teach math, one will teach social studies, and at our school, we are fortunate to have a science specialist who teaches science for all 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. So that is a bit about our day. After lunch, kiddos participate in PE, they have their elective, our grouping switch again, and then we have dismissal altogether. One thing that we implemented this year that we will definitely grow for next school year is that our PE time has a buffer of 5 minutes where students are then brought back to their homeroom, and we are going to be implementing kind of a checkout, a circle at the end of the day where we can reflect on how the day went. We can talk about some things that we want to set our intentions for the next school day, and also just review some homework reminders and some general business before they're on their way when that bell rings. So that is Nesbitt's bell schedule.
Ryan, before I take over, would you mind sharing how many students are at Nesbitt?
Well, I think I'll just answer this as a middle school focus. So we have right now approximately 50 students per grade level. So in each of our cohorts, so 56th, 7th, and 8th graders.
Thank you. All right, we're going to continue with the Ralston bell schedule. And I just want to remind everyone, we are going to share these slides and the recording. So please don't fret, you will get that information and some more information. We'll tell you about that at the end. Ralston, so Ralston has 1,120 students. It tends to be around 1,100-ish each year. As you'll see, we have 6 periods daily. You're probably wondering about that purple class, the 7 that jumps all around in the schedule. We have a floating 7th period that replaces another period throughout the week. So each student will see their teachers 4 times during the week. They start in homeroom. Their homeroom, as you can see in green, is actually their first period class. And for those that don't know as much about a comprehensive middle school, basically our students mix and match all day. So they will have different kids in all of their different classes. Some will probably follow some patterns and they'll see them in multiple classes, but they do change classes generally every period and have different teachers and different students in those classes. The one exception is that for language arts, we actually call it literature and composition. And those are actually 2 different courses that are considered a core. So it'll be the same group of students that will be with the same teacher for 2 periods throughout the day. But other than that, they will have a different teacher for all of their other classes. So they'll have 6 different teachers that they will get to know and 6 different groups of classmates that they will get to know. Classes are around 54 minutes and it's kind of quick. It's a fast-paced school. I think Patrick would agree. There's always a lot going on, but it is similar to kind of a high school setting where you get used to moving every period, getting to know a lot of different people. We typically have around 375 students per grade level, so it averages around there. We serve breakfast before school on Wednesdays because of the short day, but otherwise at snack time. And then lunch is lunch on all days except Wednesday. We send students to get lunch at our snack time on Wednesday since it's a short day and they have to eat before they leave. We try to run activities and other things at lunchtime, snack time, so that students get to mix and interact with a lot of other students. So it'll be an experience. And I know it's a big, daunting thing to come into middle school with that many kids in a grade level, but we do have an orientation program, and we do things with our 6th graders throughout the year to make them feel comfortable, help them to make connections and things like that. So that's a little bit about Ralston.
For Sandpiper, our bell schedule looks a little bit different. And again, what you see here, similar to what Principal Hanson-Vera said, this is always changing a little bit, so it might look a little bit different. But we operate on a double block schedule. So that means that our periods are twice as long, and students have their core classes for half as many times. So you'll see there that we have our core classes 2 times a week, but they are for twice as long. So students initially start every day in their homeroom, whether that's our regular instructional day or the minimum day. And then their period 2, period 3, and period 4 will alternate between ELA, math, science and social studies, PE, and elective. On our Wednesday schedule, you'll see there that we have a double block for Genius Hour. That is a signature practice here at Sandpiper where students explore a passion project, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that toward the end of the presentation. And we also have a period on Wednesday called Learning Lab, which is an opportunity for students to meet with individual teachers, get a little bit of time on projects that are not completed yet, or whatever choice that they need to make sure that their work is getting done, or where they may need to have some collaboration with teachers or other classmates. That is also when our students who have IEP minutes, many of their minutes will be served during that Learning Lab time. And talk a little bit about electives and enrichment now.
So something important to note regarding electives is that electives are also changing yearly and shift and change based on staffing and credentialing. And the electives that each of us are going to share tonight, though they are consistent for this school year, may shift and change as years go on. But this is definitely a flavor of what each of our middle school choices offers. At Nesbitt, we offer an elective wheel. All students take 1 elective per trimester. There is less of students picking classes and selecting choices, and more of us providing our students with options we feel really contribute to their development to be a strong student. And so we offer leadership. We also offer advisory. And advisory is really like getting to know middle school 101, really talking about all those things, all that executive functioning skills that are needed to navigate middle school successfully. We host a STEM investigations class. Technologic is really fun. It sounds like a cool dance, but it is actually a really great technology and logic class where students are using technology and math games to solve complex problems. We offer fine arts and film study, music appreciation, and Spanish.
Our 6th graders, most of them are in the wheel. And what that means is they will experience 4 mini versions of electives over the course of the year, so a quarter each. And it varies what we offer each year, but just to give you a little bit of the flavor for this year, some of our offerings are art, coding, we've got animation, drama, fun with French. So it'll be a smaller version of some of the things that they can take in 7th and 8th grade and get a little experience for that. We have the option as well to take music. So that would be band, orchestra, or choir. And then we also offer some academic support classes. So students will get that opportunity. When they take wheel, they are just placed somewhere on the wheel and that group moves together. So they won't necessarily get to pick which wheel classes that they get, but again, they'll get to experience a variety of different things. And based on course offerings each year, it may vary slightly. When they get to 7th and 8th grade, they get 2 different periods of elective. So any kind of combination of 2 semester and 1 year long, 4 semester electives, or 2 year long. So we put out a course catalog and you'll get to learn a little bit more about what's being offered. For our 6th graders, we'll come out and talk about some of these offerings, whether they want to be in wheel or music and academic support. We're going to visit the feeder school, so we'll tell them a little bit more about that. And then we're also in the process of planning an invitation for the schools to come and see our music program perform this year. and we will have an informational night as well.
At Sandpiper, you can see there that students have an opportunity to take one elective per trimester, and it is broken up by grades. You can see the choices that are offered in each grade level. I would like to highlight our intersession, which is an opportunity for students twice a year to kind of dip their toe and get a little bit of a flavor for some other topics. This is something that we do during our conference weeks, and students get to experience things like ultimate frisbee, kinesiology, French culture, Japanese culture, drawing, and moot court. Those were just some of the offerings that we had earlier this year, and we will be doing that again in March during parent-teacher conferences. But very excited about our elective offerings. Oh, there we go.
Music and art opportunities are also something that are alive at all three of our middle schools. And so at Nesbitt, music is an optional class. So students are encouraged and offered band or strings class 1 day a week during 7th period. And then for art, we are very fortunate that School Force, and because of the generous donations of our families in BRSSD, we are able to partner with an amazing organization called LEAP. And they provide monthly art lessons to not only just Nesbitt's middle school, but really schools across our whole entire district. They provide really wonderful art lessons, and we also offer a fine arts elective. And if you remember when we talked about electives, Nesbitt also offers a music appreciation. So really that love of the arts and inspiring that connection is something that we definitely amplify at our school.
I've already mentioned a little bit about our music program as part of our offerings for 6th grade and for our 7th and 8th graders. We have all single subject teachers. That means they specialize in an area. So we have actually 2 music teachers, and that is their passion and what they have studied in. So that is part of our music program. And then we have a dedicated art teacher as well that teaches wheel and our art and art ceramic classes.
And at Sandpiper, strings or band is an option weekly before school. We do prefer some experience with an instrument, but that is not strictly required. Our art is provided monthly through LEAP, thanks to our generous partners, School Force. And we also offer several arts electives in 6th grade and above.
Athletics. This is always something that comes up when we're talking about middle school. And this is another opportunity for me to shout out the wonderful middle school principals that I work with, Sabrina and Gloria. I think we've really upped the ante when it has come to sports and really celebrating that BRSSD pride. We are all about go Stingrays, go Rams, go Pumas. And we have really had, after this pandemic, a really wonderful bring back of student sports and that celebration of the joy that brings to our students and our families. So at Nesbitt, we are proud to offer flag football, which is a joint team with Sandpiper. So we are Stingrays and Pumas all together on one BRSSD team, and man, they had an amazing season. We also partner with Sandpiper on a joint cross-country team. And again, it's like such a wonderful opportunity to cheer kids on in a different way. It's not school against school. We are a unified front and go BRSSD. Nesbitt also offers basketball and volleyball. Again, just to mention, sports change based on our availability of coaches, the number of students interested in participating, and students are all so eligible to try out for teams not offered at their schools. And this was the big collaboration between Sabrina, Gloria, and I on partnering for some joint teams. And what's wonderful about this is that Ralston often hosts many of our games. So we get to visit each other's schools, cheer each other on, work with Sabrina and her amazing AP team. And so it definitely has created wonderful district-wide spirit. So we encourage your child to participate in our middle school sports.
I think another great thing is that all of our schools have athletic directors now that work together as well. So they're really working to coordinate, make sure there's opportunities at all schools, that there's some consistency as well, and that we're partnering as we expand and we problem solve and things like that. At Ralston, we have more sports because we have more students at this point. So we are able to generally field more teams and get more coaches, but a lot of great opportunities. In the fall, we have girls volleyball, and we have cross country. Then we move into basketball season. It starts with 7th and 8th grade basketball. So right now, all 3 of our schools are competing against each other in 7th and 8th grade basketball, with the playoffs happening next week. And then we'll all transition to 6th grade basketball after that. And then in the spring, we have boys volleyball, we have track and field, and then tennis. This year, we are bringing back soccer. I know the students are really excited about that. So we are up and running on that. And then golf is one of those that it kind of depends on the year. If we have coaches, if we are able to get them out to a golf course nearby. So that hasn't happened this year, but it has happened in the past.
All right, and then at Sandpiper, as you heard about our wonderful joint teams, we have flag football and cross country. We have volleyball, which is extra special to my heart because I am one of the coaches for volleyball, and it's a lot of fun. We have basketball and tennis as well. And we have some great teams going on at Sandpiper now. The games are so fun to watch. So.
And then this links nicely with the clubs and activities that we offer. So this is really talking about that middle school experience. Middle school is such a special time. Our students are really discovering their likes and their dislikes and things that make middle school special. And so clubs and activities are an extension of that. And so Nesbit offers a variety of things to help entice our students during their school day so that they are finding joy. And one of those things that has a line out the door is always the board game club in Mr. Chang's room on Friday afternoons. Just a variety of board games coming together, healthy competition, fun, laughter. It's a wonderful club and we're thankful that he runs that. Leadership opportunities. We host robotics. There is after school support. So our students are willing, our students are willing to participate, but our teachers are willing to host office hours and homework club and extra help sessions. And so that's offered after school. We also have community service, which is really woven into the core values of our school and of our program. And in 8th grade, I don't like the word mandatory. However, it is highly encouraged in 8th grade, and we really make sure to provide our 8th graders the opportunity to give back to their bigger community. We want them leaving us in 8th grade, knowing that they have the ability to make a mark on their community and be a positive light. And so we offer them lots of abilities to contribute to the community. That could be lunch buddies for younger students. It's a TK8 experience is a wonderful opportunity for older students to really be a pillar, to be a beacon, to go ahead and be a prime example for younger students. And so they're able to host campus events, lead morning gathering, do shout outs, outside mentoring and coaching. And so those are some of the clubs and activities that we have at Nesbit. But one thing to note is that these are also always changing. We offer clubs based on student need, and we encourage our students to tell us what they're interested in. And we make sure to make those happen when those needs come to us. So it's definitely fluid as well when it comes to clubs and activities.
We have a variety of different clubs and groups on campus. Again, they vary by year and by student interest. Clubs could be led by teachers. They could be driven by students. We actually even have some that are parent initiated as well. So these are the ones that we have had this year and last year. You can see a wide variety. Our big program for our 6th grade is WEB, where everybody belongs. They meet with their 7th and 8th grade 2 leaders that they meet at that very first orientation in August. And we'll give you those dates, don't worry, at the end. And they meet with them every month. Those are their big buddies. They check in with them. It's typically a group of around 12 students, 6th graders, and it's a mix. We deliberately have you fill out the form, and then we go, okay, Cipriani, we mix the schools together. So there will be kids from every school in there and schools outside of our district, and they get to know more kids, and they compete in competitions and they do projects together. It's super fun. One of the things that we have brought in this year, and I'm excited tomorrow, is our Unwrap It competition. We do little lunchtime competitions this year, and the students pick 1 or 2 people from their homeroom to compete. We've seen the homeroom starting to practice these so they can do better at the competition. But tomorrow's competition is the students will be wearing oven mitts on both of their hands, and they have to unwrap as many Hershey Kisses in 30 seconds as they can with the oven mitts on. So They're silly, they're fun. It could be getting Ritz crackers from your forehead to your mouth without using your hands, but they get points for participating and for winning, and they're competing for a bigger prize for each semester. So we're doing that. We have lunchtime intramurals, and then a variety of just different things that could happen before school, during snack time, lunchtime, and after school.
All right, and that brings us to Sandpipers clubs. We have quite a few different options. We have a robotics theater that we partner with the San Carlos Children's Theater to put on a show. We just did I don't think it's called mini, but Frozen this year, and it was awesome. We have middle school leadership opportunities. That being a K-8 school, they're able to do things for the elementary school as well as the middle school, giving them a lot of leadership opportunities. We have Rainbow Alliance, Homework Club. Homework Club is twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays to have an extra hour to get some help and get some extra homework done. We have Art Club, Garden Club, Buddies. Another perk of being a K-8 school, get to work with the little kids and buddy up with different classes for projects and things and different games, or Halloween events that we do. They get to work in the carnival together or set up a booth to do games for the younger students, which can be a lot of fun. And then our end of the year days for them as well. Mileage Club, dances, which are always a big one through SYC, and we are bringing back community service. We had that going before COVID, and we're really excited to be bringing that back for the middle school now, that things are up and we're ready for that.
All right, so we wanted to talk a little bit about student supports, and I'll hand that back over to Ryan.
Yeah, so one thing that our middle schools all really do well is implement a multi-tiered system of support and a framework for making sure that all of our students are fully included into a strong academic appropriate setting. We make sure that we fully support our students with 504 plans and those students with IEPs. We make sure that we are holding transition meetings that are transparent and involve parent input that include our whole entire team, to make sure that we are providing the correct accommodations and services for our students that are on support plans, and make sure that those are implemented with fidelity. And so at Nesbitt, this is how we offer support. We have a learning center model, and that means that our educational specialists are pushing into the classroom. And then we often offer pull-out services as well. But we really believe that the best way to integrate is to push in. And so our learning specialists and paraeducators are fully co-teaching with the gen ed teacher in the gen ed classroom setting. We, like I said, have a designated education specialist that just works through 6th through 8th graders. Her name is Tina Farrell, and she's amazing. And she has a team of paraeducators that work alongside her, providing support as they are pushing into classrooms. She also offers a section of directed studies where students that need to focus on particular goals or their service minutes, which is how we can go ahead and provide that support for them in a smaller setting. So Tina has an amazing learning center where she could pull kids out and work with them one-on-one or in small group. We also found that the implementation of Readers Writers Workshops 6th through 8th grade is a wonderful way to provide supports and tailor instruction for our 6th through 8th graders. And then we are also a K through 8th grade setting, which means what we hope is that students are with us K through 8th grade. And that means that we really get to know our students well, and that we're able to provide them the support. And that one of the beautiful pieces of Nesbitt is the personalization. And because we are a smaller middle school, we have that opportunity. And so that's a bit about student support services at Nesbitt.
At Ralston, our student support services look a little bit different than the other two schools. In 6th grade, those who have an IEP have the option, and we talk about this during our transition meetings, of being in a general ed literature and composition class for language arts, or they are in an equivalent literature and composition class that is in a smaller setting with our ed resource specialist teacher for 2 periods. So that's how it works in 6th grade for language arts equivalent. For math, It is again full inclusion in the classroom in a gen ed math setting or a small setting RSP math classroom, again with the same education specialist who is their case manager. It changes a little bit in 7th and 8th grade, our offering. So in 7th and 8th grade for language arts, because it's only one period, there are a couple of different options. There's one that is just fully gen ed and inclusive. There is a co-taught class where we have their case manager, who's a teacher, partnering with a general education teacher. So there's 2 of them in the classroom, and very similar to some of our other schools' models on that and high school. Or we still have that small setting, again, around 10 or so students in a class for language arts. For math in 7th and 8th grade, we have either the gen ed option where they're pushed in with the rest of our students, or they have the small group math. We mostly use our para educators to support in social studies and science. So they float throughout the day to be there to support our students, and we arrange schedules to make sure that they have those supports. And then they also help in some of the RSP, the small setting classes as well. We also have a class called Directed Studies, which is an academic support class. It is one of their electives, and that is a time for them to do homework. We actually do some collaboration between the 3 different grade levels of RSP students, so they get to know each other and build community and camaraderie. And then this year, we've actually been piloting a new Directed Studies class. So there's 2 different periods for 6th grade, 2 for 7th and 2 for 8th. In both, they're getting academic support, but one has an extra focus this year on mental health. So we have some of our support staff from the district that support students with mental health. They go into those classrooms at least once a week to do a lesson, work with the students on SEL learning. And as far as 504s, Mr. Wilson is our coordinator of 504, so he handles all of those, but he partners with each of the counselors, and the other 2 administrators, myself and Ms. Jorgensen, are also working closely with him, and sometimes we're the ones that are coordinating that as well.
And at Sandpiper, kind of similar to what you see at Nesbitt, we do have a learning center here at Sandpiper that is supported with a full-time a full-time ed specialist. We also have 1.5 FTE or full-time equivalent para educators who support our students with special learning needs. That happens in their classrooms or in the learning center. We are a K-8 setting, and again, similar to what Ryan said, we like to really get to know our students and serve them throughout those grade levels. One of the ways in which we serve our students in middle school is through that weekly alternative learning lab, and I think that emphasizes the importance of multi-tiered systems of support. That's an opportunity where general education classroom teachers are making sure that they're differentiating and supporting students and their learning needs as well.
So this brings us back to that anchor slide, reminding you all that BRSSD offers 3 unique options, but we are really one great fit as a district. And knowing that Sabrina, Gloria, and I work together every step of the way to ensure that all of our middle schoolers are prepared to go off after they leave BRSSD and really be wonderfully set up to take on high school and beyond. We make sure that we are really providing a positive climate and connection at all 3 of our sites. And with that, I wanted to just share some special things about Nesbitt. So that picture there, can you go back for me? That picture there in the corner is some new art that was just put on our ball wall. Those are designs that come from our students. But the most important thing is to remember that Nesbitt School is a school that is based on love. And all cultures, all abilities, and all orientations are celebrated at our site. And that's something that's very important for those beautiful smiling middle school faces that you see on the screen. And I wanted to share 3 stars about Nesbitt School. So what I want you to leave this presentation knowing is that the beauty of our program is the personalization. and that our teachers are able to really diversify their instruction. They're able to modify on the spot through flexible groupings, and that is something that is a cornerstone of our program. Our Youth Truth data shows that 90% of Nesbitt Middle School students respond positively when asked, does my teacher care about me? Our teachers care about them and our students know it, and it's a beautiful part of our school. Another star about Nesbitt is our approach. We empower, support, and inspire our students. And teachers and students are the focus, and our values really ring true. We are respectful, responsible, safe, and inclusive. And we make sure that we're instilling the social competencies to help our students thrive. And then lastly, our philosophy is to be student-centered. And that is our framework. All the decisions we make are because of our students. And our middle school teachers plan and engage, monitor, and adjust based on student achievement. And we want them to feel connected to each other, and connected to their teachers. And I also have a big announcement. So drum roll, please. Nesbitt School is officially a candidacy school. Nesbitt Middle School will be an international baccalaureate program, and our middle years program will launch 2023-2024. Now, what does that mean? We will have a deeper presentation February 6th, where you can learn all about what it means to be an international baccalaureate school. But I wanted to share a few things right now. So an IB program encourages students to make practical connections between the content and the connection to the world. And this is preparing them to study the success of local and global ideals, and to make connections and to help solve real world problems. Research shows that an MYP, a middle years program, builds confidence by having students manage their own learning. Students are going to learn by doing, and they're going to be connecting what they're learning in the classroom to the larger world. And they're also going to be developing an understanding of global challenges and their commitment to act as responsible citizens. This means that a rigorous coursework will be incorporated so that we're meeting the goals of an international baccalaureate program. That means foreign language, that means arts, that means music, and that also means health and well-being. Not only that, our teachers are engaging in hours of specialized instruction and professional development right now. And it's because of the amazing team of 6 educators at Nesbitt Middle School that we have been able to reach candidacy at a faster rate. Typically, this takes schools of implementation 3 years to get to this level. And before we're even ready to launch, the middle school team is already preparing for your students right now. This will include teachers having to submit units of study that need to get approved by a board, an accredited board, to prove that we are meeting the rigor that will help our students thrive in the real world. We cannot wait to welcome you to Nesbitt School and be a part of this journey with us.
Okay, well, welcome to Ralston here. We've got a lot going on, and one of our strengths, as you'll see in some of the pictures, is again our web program, and that is run by our student government leaders. This year they're wearing red. I don't know what color it'll be next year, but again, we host different events and get the kids together so that they are socializing. So you can see some of our kids with some popsicles at one of our web events earlier this year. New this year, you'll see them canoeing in the bottom is a partnership with the Marine Science Institute. And this year they have gone out our back door and down to Waterdog to do testing for nitrates and phosphates and learn about watershed right down in our very backyard. And then they go take that learning and they go out to Smith Slough over in Redwood City at the Marine Science Institute, and they get to go canoeing. So this was new for our 6th graders this year, and something that we are planning to do again next year. Socialization is really, really important, especially at the traditional middle schools where there's a lot of different students with different needs and different connections. One of the ways that they connect is through our dances. So we had a big one in October for Halloween, and they came dressed in their costumes, and we had a photo booth and a DJ and snacks, and then a little rec room in our MUR with games so kids could hang out because not everyone likes to dance. We have a Valentine's Day dance coming up. And then again, speaking to our partnership between the 3 middle schools, On April 28th this year, we are going to have a combined 6th, 7th, and 8th grade BRSSD middle school dance with all 3 schools. Wish us luck on that one. I think the kids will really be excited. And we think it's also important for the kids to get to know each other before they're in the high school setting together. So we are working together, the 3 principals, to plan that. And we will host at Ralston since we have the biggest campus and are looking forward to that. In the bottom, you'll see a picture of some cooking. We brought back our culinary arts elective this year, and they are doing some amazing stuff. Sometimes kids will even come in early to start things for class, like their rice cooker, because it takes many hours. A highlight, I think, for me was the cupcake wars that they did a few weeks ago. So the kids had to bake different kinds of cupcakes. They had to create a display board. It was all themed. And then, of course, the staff got to come in and taste and judge and sample. So again, our electives program has a lot of different offerings and different interests for different kinds of kids. A little bit more about us. Again, it is a larger school environment. It is a more traditional middle school as they mix and match all day long. A lot of opportunities to meet new people, meet new friends. I know that math is always a very exciting topic for families. My principal's coffee yesterday was about math and math placement. A little sneak peek of the placement chart. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about that at our February meeting. We'll also talk a little bit more about math at the end of this presentation as well for all 3 schools. And then one of the biggest, I think, highlights of Ralston is that electives and club piece, where there's just a lot of different things for a lot of different types of students so that they can meet their interests and meet others. Patrick, do you want to jump in and share anything else?
I just think that at Ralston, it's just it's a place where students find what they're interested in, what their passion is. There's so many different options, so many different ways to connect with each other and to find new areas of academics that perhaps they never even considered before. That's what I really love about our electives and clubs.
And one of the new things we're doing this year, and then I'll let Gloria take over, is administrators and counselors are going into our PE classes once a month to do some more social emotional learning and community building. So we actually, the 3 counselors and 3 admin, we're working this afternoon. Tomorrow's presentation, we're gonna be doing a rules refresher. It is January, so the kids do tend to forget the rules, so we do need to reinforce those throughout the year. But our highlight tomorrow will be a little bit more about diversity and inclusion, and looking at different perspectives and differences between our students, our staff, and just people in the world, and making our students better global citizens. So that'll be our focus tomorrow and Friday as we meet with all classes. It's a little bit easier than hosting an assembly, which we do. We sometimes have 2 assemblies where we have half the school at one and half in the other. We will do that a few times this year, but this is a smaller chance for us to get to know the kids even better, review the rules, address anything that maybe has come up as an issue at school, and then do some fun stuff too. We do some competitions and the kids like that as well.
All right. Well, I really have 2 very tough acts to follow. I'm going to do my very, very best. What you see here is what we really strive to share with our students and develop in our students. You see our entire middle school group in that bottom lower right picture. That was during one of their design thinking activities, the way in which we started our school year, so that they all got to work together as an entire middle school on a very meaty and relevant and interesting topic for them, which was how do you design a perfect school or an excellent school. And you see some other examples there of design thinking and our Genius Hour signature practice. We are very, very proud at Sandpiper. Our purpose, our entire staff, our teachers, our classified staff, our administration, we really strive to empower an inclusive community. And we're really talking about welcoming all students to be critical thinkers, and we want them to be able to contribute to an ever-changing world. We know that we are teaching students and preparing students for a world that we will not be familiar with, and for careers that haven't been invented yet. So we're very excited to be working with our youth in that way. We are a TK-8 environment, And sometimes we refer to that as an middle school. And the research is very clear that in that environment, the academics are very strong in a culture of a community with continuity of parent involvement. And it provides an opportunity for students to be leaders for longer. As Ms. Gallo was saying a little earlier in the presentation, there are vast opportunities for our middle school students to be leaders, not only in their classrooms, but with younger students on campus and for the community as a whole. We're very, very proud of that. We are a design thinking school, and we are building on our training that we've participated in with the Stanford D School and with the Nueva School to develop problem solvers. And we really define design thinking at Sandpiper as problem solving grounded in empathy with a bias towards action. We're teaching our students to forgive the cliche, fail fast. Failure is okay when you learn and grow from your mistakes, and we want them to dive in, be willing to take some calculated risks and grow from those and improve as they go. And finally, Genius Hour is one of our signature practices. We are proud to have been recognized by the San Mateo County Office of Education with their Kent Awards for this work. And we really find that this is one of the things that our students value most about our school. Genius Hour is an opportunity for them to choose a topic. They get to pick a content that they care deeply about and that they want to learn about, and the teachers support them through project management and developing those executive functioning skills that they're going to need in high school and beyond, so that they can take something from their idea all the way through to completion and learning as they go. So we are very, very excited to welcome your student as a 6th grader at Sandpiper, or to see them continue as a 5th grader now going on to 6th grade at Sandpiper next year. We're looking forward to seeing you at our individual school session in early February as well. Sabrina, I think this is you.
That's right. Next up, so we are getting towards the end of our presentation, but you are probably wondering, what is next? What else do I need to do? So let us share that with you. I know that many of you have very specific questions about each of our sites, and that's why we chose not to do that tonight. But instead, we're each going to have an informational night via Zoom, and we will send those links out very soon so that you have them. Nesbitt's on the 6th, you've got Sandpiper on the 7th, and Ralston on the 15th, so we'll get those out to you. I know that everybody is already starting to plan their summer vacations and their summer camps, so we wanted to make sure that you had the orientation dates as well. Ours is a little bit earlier. It is that web program with our 7th and 8th graders, so it does take up a little bit more of the day, and we actually do a 6th grade family barbecue that Monday night, the 14th, with all the families for 6th grade. So you get to meet each other from 5 to 7 p.m. free hot dogs and chips. So make sure to get these on your calendar so that your student can attend. Finally, the important part next is if you are new to BRSSD, you need to complete the new student enrollment process. You can go on the district's website. Again, we're going to send this presentation out so you can click right on the new student enrollment process and make sure that you get that done. All of our families will complete a digital choice form. So this is a little bit new this year for our in-district students, especially those coming from Fox and Cipriani and Central and Redwood Shores. You're gonna all rank through 3 choices. So you'll get that form soon to just make sure that you put your preferences on there. Again, there's 3 really great choices and there's different fits for every student. So you really need to think about your own student, their interests, their needs, their likes. So that'll be coming soon. Also, we will be sending out some information about math placement. There are a couple of different tests that students will take, and it'll explain a little bit more of the letter about how that happens and when that's communicated. If you're coming from out of district, we will handle that separately at our individual schools when we know who is attending, and we will partner with you to set up the needed math placement tests, collect any math information from your prior schools as well. So please don't worry about that. We wanted to highlight that, as for example, Ryan said, we really love current Nesbitt students to go all the way through the school. Doesn't mean it's not a great opportunity also to join in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, but Nesbitt students will have priority for that school. And then Sandpiper students will have priority along with Redwood Shores to Sandpiper, since that is out in the Shores area, to make sure that they have a school that is close to theirs. I know there were some questions about, are we guaranteed our schools? We try our best to get students to the schools that they choose, but there are capacity limits at the different schools. So sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but we really do mostly get students where they need to be and have that space. So again, more information coming. And if you're at the charter school, I've been including that principal. We'll keep sending out information to make sure everyone's getting this. And this information will also be posted on the website.
Wow. And with that, I want to thank everyone for attending. Those of you in the audience, we really appreciate your time tonight. We are just about at an hour, and we really thank you for that time. We know how precious that is. I want to thank Ching-Pei Hu and Jim Howard, Dr. Jim Howard, for attending tonight and representing our district. We really appreciate their time as well. And I especially want to thank our assistant principals, Patrick Wilson, Stephanie Scala, and Ms. Spicker, who represent all of our schools. Sabrina, I'm forgetting the name of your other AP. I'll let you say it.
Oh, Kelly Jorgensen.
Kelly Jorgensen, we thank her as well. And I want to acknowledge and let you know the Q&A function is open on the webinar. So if you have questions, we'll leave the webinar open for a few minutes so you can get those last questions typed in. We will be addressing those through a frequently asked question document so that we're sure to publish those answers for you. We'll also address those in our individual sessions that you saw publicized on the dates on the previous slide. So be sure to attend those as well, and we'll get those answers to you. Thank you all so very much and have a wonderful night.